Hi, AB Calculus. We're working on 2006 number 1. This is a calculator question, so if you don't have a graphing calculator, go to desmoscott.com and practice using it. Pretty easy question. So we have the line y equals ln of x and y equals x minus 2. We're going to graph them in y1 and y2 in the calculator and find their intersection points. So I found their intersection points hitting second trace. One quick thing, this is probably not allowed on your AP exam. They got rid of a bunch of topics, and this is one of the topics they're like, you don't really need to know. But we are going over it because I'm going to have a lot of you back for next year, and a lot of you are going to go on and do more calculus. So obviously I want you to do these things and practice and become better at math. All right, part A says find the area of region R. Again, this is part A. So part A, find the area of region R. It's the integral from this x-coordinate where they meet to this x-coordinate, so from 0.15859 to 3.14619, and then it's simply top equation minus bottom. Now if you have hotkeys, you can put y1 minus y2, but here I just want you to be careful. When it's top equation minus bottom equation, I just messed up, okay? Whenever you have a minus sign, in between these integrals, you got to make sure to put parentheses. So that's top minus bottom. Again, I'm going to be using my hotkeys. So I hit Math 9. From this to this, so 0.15. Wow. 859 to 3.14619. And then I'm going to use hotkeys y1 minus y2 because I don't feel like typing things in. And I get an answer of 1.9490. I'm going to take a moment and make sure that's correct. Okay, it's correct. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't messing things up. So that's part A. All right, part B, I'm just going to erase this now. So part B, they say take the line y equals -3 and rotate this around the line y equals -3. Okay, when we go to rotate this around the line y equals -3, we're going to get a washer. Remember, rotating around can give you a disc or washer. It's only a disc if you're rotating around a flushed line. Like if I'm rotating around one of the boundary lines, that would be a disc. But if you move it, now it would be a washer. So this is going to be a washer here. If it's going to be a washer for part B, I immediately write out the shell of my washer problem. Pi outer radius squared minus inner radius squared dx. From what to what? So from this x-coordinate to this x-coordinate. And now I got to draw these out. So that's my outer radius. And this one is my inner radius. So my outer radius, I want to know how far is this? It's just top equation minus bottom. So ln of x minus -3. So it's ln of x minus -3, which I'm just going to call a plus. And then my inner radius. This is my inner radius, and it's top equation minus bottom. So it's x minus 2 minus -3. So x minus 2 minus -3 is just a plus 3. Yes, I could simplify this, but nobody cares. So I'm going to take this, make sure I have the dx, make sure I have the bracket, so the dx belongs to everything. And I just type it on my calculator, and I get 34.198-ish. I just looked online. You should probably give one more decimal, but again, I looked online, and that's all I wanted. All right, and now we're going to go do part C. All right, part C, they don't want you to type it in the calculator at the end, but they want some integral that will give the volume when you're revolving around the y-axis. And I'm going to show this two different ways. We've talked about shell method, so I'm going to show you how you would do shell for this, and then we'll talk about changing the variables. So let's talk about shell. This is part C. If you use shell, the formula is 2 pi, and then it's RH. Now, shell, you have some height and some radius. So radius and height. Remember when you are dealing with the radius. When you're dealing with the radius, the one on the curve is x comma something, and over here, since it's around the y-axis, it's 0 comma something. And the radius is right equation minus left equation, x minus 0, or simply x. If you're using shell, and it's around the y-axis, it will always just be x. Or negative x if it's on the other side. Alright, and then we need the height, and the height is simply top equation minus bottom. Top equation ln of x minus the bottom equation. So it's ln of x minus, and then x minus 2 in parentheses. And then it's from this 0.15859-ish number to 3.14619. Okay, now that's if you use the shell. The other thing you could do is you could do a washer. Now, when I say I could do a wow, this makes me miss using my my nice little board back at school. I could just erase those things quite easily. If we are going to use a washer, pi outer radius squared minus inner radius squared, it would have to be a dy. The reason it would have to be a dy, we're still going to get an outer radius and an inner radius. Okay? We're going to get the outer and inner radiuses, but if you're revolving around the y-axis, all of your equations need to be in terms of y. Again, so I need a dy. The second thing you need is these endpoints. When I've rotated around, I'm creating washers, and if I chop them up this way, I'm going to have discs going this way, and I'm going to add up all the, washers, and I'm going to add up all the washers from this y-coordinate to this y-coordinate. If you've been wondering why the y-coordinates have been here from the beginning, it's for this. So, from the lowest y-coordinate to the highest, so from negative 1.8414 to 1.14619. And now the outer and inner radiuses. I can't use either equation the way they're written. dy means the equations need to be in terms of y. So I'm going to take this equation, y equals x minus 2, and I'm going to solve for x. I get x is y plus 2. So I'm going to rewrite this equation as x equals y plus 2. And I'm going to take the other equation, y equals ln of x, and e both sides. And I'm going to get x is e to the y. Okay, so my outer radius is this one right here. I want to know how far is it. It's right equation minus left. Left equation is 0. So it's y plus 2 minus 0, or simply y plus 2. And my inner radius, right minus left, is e to the y minus 0, or simply e to the y. So both of these examples, both of these are acceptable. You could type both in your calculator. You'll get the same exact answer, but they don't ask us to type them in the calculator. They say, hey, just set it up only, and that's good enough. And that's what we did. All right, have a good day.